guys? It's Naseem here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a very special look at the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now the Galaxy Z Fold 4 is a phone that has really improved some of its capabilities, learned from its mistakes, and focused on the user experience, making it arguably the best foldable in the smartphone market. I would definitely say that in terms of practicality, this is the foldable phone that the majority of people should go for. The Z Fold 4 has an amazing dual screen that is slightly enhanced visually compared to the last year's Z Fold 3. It has an amazing Snapdragon chip that is miles ahead of last generation's Gen 8 1. It has better cameras that are still pretty comparable to something of a higher mid-range phone, and it has improved in terms of design, which not only makes the phone look much more appealing, but also feels really premium. But besides my initial thoughts on the Z Fold 4, I wanted to let you guys in on my first impressions with it and why I think that it's a good phone that many people will enjoy. And before I give you guys a more in-depth look at the Z Fold 4, the first thing we have to do is unbox it, right? Now the first thing that I noticed when I was unboxing the Z Fold 4 was that just like on every other Fold series, you have the very clean black aesthetic that makes the experience feel similar to other models. Also, we have the word Fold in giant letters. Underneath that, we have the full name of the phone that'll match the color that you're using. On the left side, again, we have the name of the phone. On the top and bottom, we have the scanner barcodes, and on the back, we have all the additional info about your purchase. Now the first thing that we see when we take the top off of the box is the Z Fold itself, and I will say that it has the perfect size to it along with a pretty nice feel. On the back we have the matte finish that is very similar to the Z Fold 3, and we also have the same front display, but this one has a better screen to body ratio and is a little wider when compared to the Z Fold 3. We also have the same style camera bumps that are really good at melting into the phone and also creating a sleek look, and again I'm really glad that Samsung is putting more effort into the interior. Also, when we close the phone we can see the hinge, which definitely feels more premium when opening and closing it. It's pretty stiff right now, but after a while it will loosen up. Now on the right side of the phone we have the power button and volume rockers. On the top we have our built-in speaker and mic. On the left side we have the SIM ejection port, and last but not least on the bottom we have our USB-C port, mics, and speakers. And we also have the 7.6-inch main screen that is the same on the spec sheet, but has a better screen to body ratio with smaller bezels to help the overall visual experience. Now the last things that we have in the box of the Z Fold 4 is our starter guide booklet, the SIM ejection tool, the USB Type-C cable. Now the Z Fold 4 has 3 different colors in its catalog, starting with the colorful beige, gray green, and for the more uniform colors there's still a Phantom Black version, which is my personal favorite. And again, the version that I have is the Phantom Black, and you can see that it looks really good. The colorful aspect along with the color coordinated rails give it a good amount of depth, and I really admired that there were different shades with different materials. Even when we look at it in the sun, we can see that it still looks very premium while also giving off a very nice clean look that I think many people will enjoy. I again really loved how it had shiny sides that were the same color and continued that clean aesthetic on the phone. But my favorite part about the Z Fold's build is that it kept the matte back, which not only is more comfortable to hold, but also looks much more cool and sleek. Now the Z Fold 4 has a 7.6-inch dynamic AMOLED display that I will say was pretty good based off my first impressions. It was very big and interactive, the quality was good, and it did good, so I was pretty satisfied with the overall experience. I also really like the fact that the size was big with very small bezels. Like right here, I'm multitasking, and you can see that it's big enough to still get the job done and give a good visual experience. Now the crease isn't noticeable at all when you're using the screen. The only time you'll notice it is when you slide your finger or if you view it at an angle, so most of the time it won't be a problem for you. Also, we have the 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display that still looks just as good in terms of resolution. I wish that they could have made it a little bit wider, but I really do like that they're headed in that direction. And right here, you can see that it's very easy to use when you want to use it as your main screen. Watching things is better, but still could use some work, and that's where the wider screens can help. And even though this is my first impressions with the phone, I really like that Samsung is making those minor improvements and heading in the right direction to making this the best foldable phone. But besides that, both displays were really responsive out of the gate. Everything that I clicked on and moved responded very quickly, and I would say that overall it felt much better than last year. The Z Fold also provides much better software than last year's version. On this version you have a new dock that'll make things easier and more accessible, and you also have more options when it comes to multitasking that I'll get more in depth with on my full review. Now when it comes to build quality on the Z Fold 4, I would say that it was really good and pretty much still feels the same as the Z Fold 3. Again, I really like the matte back for the premium feel, but the only downside to it was the fact that I'm using it without a case, so it will often be very slippery and give me a feeling that I might drop it. But besides that, the screens on the Fold 4 are made of Gorilla Glass build, which means that in most cases, if you do drop it, then most likely it won't break, which is good news for people who do drop their phones a lot. Again, I also love the glossy sides, so that made the phone feel more smooth and made it feel much more satisfying, and this is the reason why I think that most people will gravitate towards this one. Now when it comes to physicality, the Z Fold 4 has a width of 130 millimeters millimeters, a height of 155 millimeters, and weighs about 263 grams, which is okay when holding it. And right here, you can see how well it fit into my hands. It's not too small and it's not too big, so I was able to get a comfortable grip on it, which made me less likely to drop it. And when you put it in your pockets, it'll fit really well since it's more portable thanks to it being able to fold. It helps that you can also hold it like it's a regular phone when it's folded. And it had a really good weight to it as well. It wasn't too light and it wasn't too heavy, which results in a more comfortable fit in hand. Now the Z Fold 4 has a 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto camera that can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. It also has two front cameras that is at 10 megapixels from the front screen and 4 megapixels under the main screen's display. And when I say great cameras, I don't mean that they are the best out of any smartphone in the market, but they definitely aren't trash and can hold their weight when given the opportunity. Like right here, when we look at the daytime pictures from the main outer camera, we can see that the photos were very crisp when good lighting presented itself. The colors were also amazing, especially when compared to last year, and they also had a little bit more sharpness when compared to other phones, which was pretty great in certain conditions. Now when it came to selfie mode photos, I would say that with the front screen selfie camera, it was as good as any mid-range phone in 2022. Like right here, you can see that my skin tone looks somewhat accurate. I kind of look lighter in these photos than I actually am, and it kind of bugged me. But one thing that I did like was the sharpness and how well the camera played on my eyes. And I feel like the camera was a little bit more rough, but it still looked pretty good. And I also wanted to give you guys an example of how the phone records video before I gather my final thoughts about it and my final review. Now, when we look at additional specs on the Z Fold 4, it has the new Snapdragon Gen 8 One Plus chip. It has storage starting from 128 gigs all the way up to 512 gigs. It has a 4400 mAh battery that supports super fast charging, and it has an IPX8 water resistance rating. And there it is, you guys, my review on the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now stay tuned for more because I will be giving a weekly update on the Z Fold where I will be going into detail with how it holds up. But let me know down in the comments, should I do a day in the life on the Z Fold 4? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It'll be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.